This is the NFL on EA Sports as we welcome you from the East Bay and Oakland, California. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3.
The Broncos take over first and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. And that's not the start that he was looking for, as he's going to be met and dropped behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down after the loss to start out. Here's 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsay. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
To throw on 3rd down. Paul, he'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down. Still leaves them with 4th and short. Any chance you go for it?
It's definitely in the back of my mind. In fact, I've discussed it with my staff all week long, different situations that I may want to go for it. Where's the ball in the field? Do I have confidence in my trigger guy? What am I going to do? I'm also talking about my analytics department. What are the odds? If I don't get it, what's it going to do to me the rest of the game? Personally, I end up taking all that, putting it in my head, and making a decision. And you know me, I'm probably going to go for it.
Wow, you want to make an opening drive statement.
Yes, I do. Once I have the ball and I've got it on the move, I don't want to just give up that easily.
Mike, what? Waiting. Hey, alert. 12.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
On 1st down, Wilson. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And out across midfield down to the 45. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
That?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there. Here's a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Now on 2nd and 13. Wilson steps away to his left. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
Josie Jewell on the tackle. A gain of a yard makes it 3rd and 11.
Hey, 380. I'm here all day.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Open man is Cameron Batson. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
On for the field goal. A 44-yard attempt.
Tavecchio puts this one through, and the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically, what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
7 yards there and a first down. Last week we saw a rarity. He was over 200 yards on the ground, and they lost. So we'll see if they can get more carries like that and win this week.
And that was interesting watching the game tape, wasn't it? Because it was hard to register while we watched him pile up that yardage and create those nice runs that they didn't win the football game. But that doesn't mean changing what you do. Continue to feed him the football.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. He pitches it out. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
50, plant. Ready? Hey, Charlie.
On 3rd down, Paul. He's going to look deep for more. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Pulled in at the 24. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 30-yard line.
Three 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Raiders 3, Broncos nothing.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Hey, check.
From the gun, it's Wilson. He gets it to Thomas. Accelerating, and off he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly for 6. Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And the lead grows to 10-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Tavecchio. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here's 2nd and 8. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Khalil Mack has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. A rookie QB struggling, gets thrown down to the ground there. But, you know, maybe this game, it's not over yet, but maybe this game can be a learning experience for him.
So many different things that he has to pick up on. When to go ahead and flush from the pocket and run. When to get rid of the football, not take the sack. When to just go ahead and go down early and make sure you don't fumble the football. So many things that he has to learn. This game starts the process.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Paul. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. The lefty Tavecchio now to add the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0.
Next to score, Raiders 17, Broncos 0.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Let's go now.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. No, but let me finish. You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you're throwing so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
I got him. You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there. Bang out. Bam. Mike spot 9. You ain't going nowhere. Tight.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Ryan Kerrigan in on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
At the 46-yard line.
Mike's 59. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
Wilson going to fake the give and keep it himself. He'll get this complete to Batson. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts. All right, because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Tavecchio. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Khalil Mack in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
The Broncos on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 16.
Check it back.
Back to throw. Paul. He's got his tight end Fant. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the play. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
We got this.
Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
Hey, Ward.
On 1st down, Paul. It's caught by Davis. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. And the ball situated at the 9, 2nd and goal.
Let's go, team.
They go back to the ground now with Lindsey. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. This will be play number 8 on the drive. It's 3rd and goal.
Check 37. Check 37. Hey, Foxtrot. 955. 955. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go.
From the gun, Paul. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Noah Fant, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make it 24-7. The kickoff team on the field now, as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20, as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
On 2nd and 9. Wilson, he's going to let this one go deep. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. This time they stay on the ground. And a good tackle there right around the 30 stops him short of the first down. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. That's fielded in the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Another run by Lindsey. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down.
Hey, man. Watch the boot. Watch the boot.
Operating from the gun. Paul. This one complete to the running back, Lindsey. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Looking to throw. Paul to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
It's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. Here's a 2nd and 7. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Got to figure this is one they need here on 3rd and goal.
Hey, wahoo! Check right 54. Right.
From the gun, Paul to the goal line, but it's incomplete. So now 4th and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
The kick by Carlson is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive.
I got you.
Play action. It's Wilson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And got his man complete. What a play that turns out to be. 36 yards. Well, you had all halftime to think about what you wanted to do to start the second half. They came out with a big one.
Does that not beg the question? What was happening in the other locker room at halftime? Was that the one play they didn't cover as a possibility? Because they just gave up a big, big gain.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 12.
Mike, 280. Go 14. Come on. Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9". I'll get him.
On 2nd and 12, Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since.
4 down. 47's the mark.
And he's got some space here. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Russell Wilson, 39 yards. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. So a design run all the way, and he took it the distance. I don't know that anybody saw that coming.
Well, on this play, how about the vision of him, being able to see the open field, make his move, and get there? Oftentimes, defenses have a spy for the quarterback position to try and take care of it. On that play, if they did, it certainly didn't work. Yeah, there's no doubt.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. A run with Lindsey out of the gun.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
On first down, right back to Lindsey. Oh, now Lindsey lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Hey, we got to get this stopped here, team.
Back in his home state, Royce Freeman getting the carry. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 18 yards that time to push him up, first and goal. They'll try to run with Lindsey. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal.
Check, watch 54, watch 54. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a Christian travel.
One more time with Lindsey, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. Philip Lindsey with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Broncos cut into that lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
The Raiders take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
An incomplete pass leads to second and 10 from the 25. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Raiders on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is third down and 12. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. The Raiders on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is third down and 12. From the shotgun, Wilson. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty. And it's fourth down. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They'll go again with Lindsey. Big hold of the 30. And the cutback to the sideline. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Phillip Lindsey, 83 yards, as his guys are back within a single score. So that's a really big play here in the fourth quarter. And don't look now, they're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just one score. This will be fielded at the 8.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. This game has really flipped on its head. 2 unanswered touchdowns by the other side, and now they take over here with just a very slim one-score lead.
And we've seen this how many times now? Teams get a big lead, they go into coast mode, and all of a sudden they're scrambling and battling for a win down the stretch. They've got to put something together right here, otherwise they're in danger of doing the old snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. Quick hitter here. It's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down.
Let them know, let them know. 1 plus, 1 plus. Motion to backfield. Motion to the backfield.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Being chased out left. Now he'll square up and throw deep left sideline. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Denver has a 1st down on the 15-yard play.
And the Broncos 1st down.
Ready? 30 base. Watching your side. Drop deep, drop deep. Nice.
Off play action. Paul. He's got his tight end, Jake Bunt. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 23 yards, the final tally. This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap and a give to Lindsey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field. despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
55. Right there in the middle. 55.
Operating from the gun. Paul. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays, they're going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Now Wilson firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
Out of bounds at the 43-yard line. A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Wilson now operating from the gun, eluding the pressure right. He may try and run for this. The rushing numbers for Wilson maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a 1st down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now on 2nd and 13. Wilson, they'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here.
Hey, 0-0-0.
Throwing now is Wilson. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he will score. Touchdown, Denver. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And we are tied here in the fourth quarter. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This one taken just inside the 10. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive.
59 Mike, 59 Mike, check, 59.
Back to the air, Wilson after the pick six. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught inside the 20. A big play that time for the Raiders, and even 60 yards.
At this stage, you've got to hustle, got to get back to the line of scrimmage because you're saving that timeout to make sure you have a chance to get your kicker out there for the big shot.
Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. They'll try and run with their fullback. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here.
Here we go. Double time. 3 down. Hey, check, 3 down.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And they will take a knee and set up what would be a potential game-winning field goal try. And they're going to get the timeout called. What a finish. We're down to 4 seconds to go in this football game.
A 35-yard attempt.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And with that, they will move out in front by 3. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for the Raiders, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they suffer their 4th loss so far. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York Jets. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
count it, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad be pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more Modesto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, I make pesos. Hit your sauce, I'll replace those. Number saved, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board like I'm keeping score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, full of points of God.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist man, check the wrist man, got him hot. Ay, man can't ball like this, man. Lord, past the pig skin when he stretch a distance. I'm talking a few 100,000 yards, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, 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 count it up. Hey, hundreds and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them.